Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, yeah. It's the simple things in life, like learning love again. It's the simple things in life, like finding where it all began. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it?
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down.
Shalom. We are back. It's been a while. We got some stuff for y'all. We got a lot of stuff in store for you that you guys can make it. You are now tuned into
Our Hidden History radio show.
Yeah, we back, man. We back. Good to be back. It's been a while. I was away for a minute. I know you got tired of the reruns. I'm sorry. No travels, work to be done. But we back. So drop some stuff on y'all today. We're just gonna jump right into it. Still doing with the big three. Still doing with Ishmael, who I despise with a passion.
Right.
Edom, Moab. We're gonna get through it. All of it ties together. You probably wonder if I'm going over the place. I'm not. I'm still focusing on Ishmael because they had a heavy hand in the slave trade in both oceans. Okay, the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, the transatlantic and the unspoken, avoided trans-Pacific slave trade. So I'm leading up to that. I'm just taking my time leading into that. All right. So we're gonna go to History of the Jews. All right. I want page 60 to 61. You brothers, man, today's your day. Y'all gonna be talking a lot today, man. I got too much to read, so you're gonna be y'all day today.
We got it deep.
Page 250 is the main page I want. I don't know why I wrote this a long time ago, so I'm just gonna base it on faith at this point while I wrote it. I don't know why I wrote it. This is gonna just read it. So page 250, we're gonna start at the institutions. Y'all got it? This is by, History of the Jews, Greats. There's two books, yeah. Not Grazel, Greats. Greats.
What volume?
Volume 3, Greats. Sorry.
Heinrich
Greats, yeah. Volume 3. Sorry about that. I got two books called the same thing. Different author.
It's like 4 books.
These guys seem to love that title for some reason.
Like 4 or 5 books.
Yeah, so we got Adams, Greats, Grazel, and some other book. Yeah, Volume 3. So let's go to page 250. Yep. I don't mind showing this book with y'all. You know, these books is a multi-volume set. Volume 1, 3 are pretty good. I find 3 to be a bit more. I would say, it's all right. It's all right. So.
Oh, you talking about Heinrich Grace, right?
Yeah, I think Grazel's is better in terms of information. Yeah, Grace is okay. Or was that volume 1? That's good.
Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Volume 1
are
and
the
2
best
are
ones.
the best ones. Yeah,
They're the
3
best
is
ones.
3 is minimal.
Yeah.
3 to 6, he start going into the so-called.
Yeah, the Amalek.
Yeah. That's where it starts. So page 250.
No, we're talking about greats.
Let me see.
Volume 3. I'll find the PDF.
I'm sorry, page 60. I'm sorry. Page 60, 61. My fault. You're right. It is Grazel. My fault. I jumped down. It's the same damn title, man. It's confusing me. Yeah. History of the Jews, Volume 3, Greats, page 60 and 61. My fault. Thank you. And I got it written right here, too. I don't even see 250 anywhere. Page 60 or 61. Again, I forgot where I wrote this. So the Jews, let's work our way through it.
The Jews even succeeded in instructing the Arabs in regard to their historical origin.
So wait. This is Muhammad's beginning. So we're delving into Muhammad's beginning. Okay, this is Muhammad's beginning. Go ahead. The Jews taught them their historical origin, but they didn't really know it that well. Read on.
Concerning which their memories were void. And in their credulity, the latter accepted this genealogy as the true one.
In their doubt, they realized he's right. That's where we come from. Go ahead.
It was of great consequence to the Jews to be regarded and acknowledged by the Arabs as their kinsmen.
We both come from Abraham. Go ahead.
And too many points of social interest were bound up with this relationship for them to allow it to escape their attention. The holy city of Mecca, Al-Karam, the chief city of the country, was built round an ancient temple, Kaaba, the square.
So Mecca was built around the Kaaba, the ancient temple. Go ahead. Ancient temple. Go ahead.
Or more properly, round a black stone.
Go ahead.
For all Arabs, it was an asylum.
That was their God. Go ahead.
In which the sword durst not quit the sheath. The 5 fairs, the most important of which was at Akaz, could be frequented only in the 4 holy months of the year, when the truths of God prevailed. Whoever desired to take advantage of these periods and to enjoy security of life in the midst of a warlike people, not over scrupulous in the matter of shedding blood, was obliged to establish a relationship to the Arabs. Otherwise, he was excluded from these privileges.
Right, they'll kill you. So they were normally they were warlike, but around this time in this area, they were peaceful because of the whole there's the sanctuary and the peace, whatever. Their sanctuary, pretty much. Go ahead.
Happily, the Arabian Jews bethought them of the genealogy of the Arabs as set forth in the first book of the Pentateuch.
Genesis. Go ahead.
And seized upon it as the instrument by which to prove their kinship with them.
So when we got exiled, we ran into Saudi Arabia. We ran across the Arabs. We taught them who they were, and that gained a certain level of civility or peace with them. By us sharing that knowledge of who they were to them and how we're related through Abraham, we established a certain level of peace, allowing us to live amongst them. Okay? Allowing us to live amongst them. Go ahead.
The Jews were convinced that they were related to the Arabs on 2 sides, through Yathrib and through Ishmael.
Because Yathrib, that's what Eber's line, and then you had Ishmael. Go ahead. So we're both Semitic, and we both come from Abraham. Go ahead.
Under their instruction, therefore, the 2 principal Arabian tribes traced back the line of their ancestors to these 2 progenitors. The real Arabs, the Himyarites, supposing themselves to be descended from Yathrib.
Real quick, get Genesis real fast. These are referred to as the proto-Arabs. They're the ones that built the Kaaba. That's why it's called the ancient. Okay, Genesis 10, real quick, and I think it's 20.
Johnson.
Yeah, get that.
Genesis chapter 10, verse 25.
24. Is your mic on?
Hey, fix his mic.
Yeah, your mic is on. I can't hear nothing.
Genesis
There we
chapter
go.
10, verse 24. And Arphaxad begat Selah.
These are children of Shem. Jump to verse 21 real fast. 21.
Verse 21. Unto Shem also.
Stop. Unto Shem also. Go ahead.
the father of all the children of Eber,
Hebrew, so the word Hebrew comes from. Go ahead.
the brother of Japheth, the older.
Japheth was the eldest of the three. Now jump down to verse 24.
Verse 24, and Arphaxad begat Selah, and Selah begat Eber.
Selah begat Eber. Go ahead.
And unto Eber were born 2 sons. The name of the one was Peleg.
We come out of Peleg. Go ahead.
For in his days was the earth divided.
Right.
And his brother's name was Joktan.
Joktan. So Joktan is the old Arabs that resided there before Ishmael was born. These guys resided in Arabia first. Okay, they're also referred to as Khatanites. Yoktan or Khatanites or Himyarites. These are the ancient so-called Arab. Just means I think Arab means desert or some whatever. Yeah. It's some title. It's not really a nationality. It's a title. So
Of the area.
Of the area, right? So the children of Joktan, because he had a bunch of kids, but none of the kids are given a name, so they're all called Joktanites. You know, Joktan had a bunch of kids. All of them are referred to as Joktanites because he was the most noble. Okay, so the Joktanites or Khatanites, Quatanites, Quataniet. I'm sorry, Quataniete, Quatanites or Khatanites. These are children of Joktan. Okay, they resided in that area first, and then Ishmael came up in there and mingled with them and became the janitors or custodians of that Kaaba that they introduced, that they brought there. Because Peleg down the line, that's where Abraham, the righteous line comes from, through Peleg, and Joktan is where the pagan line goes in. All right? If I'm not mistaken, let me make sure. Peleg and then Joktan had so-and-so. Yeah, I'm right. Yep, Joktan had so-and-so. So you had Joktan and you had Peleg. Hold on a second. Real quick, make sure. Fact check myself. Go to chapter 11 and verse 10.
Genesis chapter 11, verse 10. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood.
Mm-hmm. Now jump down, Arphaxad, jump down to 13.
And Arphaxad lived after he begat Selah 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Selah lived 30 years and begat Eber. And Selah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters.
Come on.
And Eber lived 430 years and begat Peleg. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters.
So Peleg is the line that Abraham comes out of. So Joktan's one line, and Peleg is the other line, okay, that came out of Eber, okay? So Joktan is the proto-Arabs or the ancient first Arabs, so-called Arabs, and then Ishmael are the wild ones. They're the ones that dominate. The ones that got the bombs and the ones that go to their war, they crazy. That's Ishmael, all right? So let's go back.
The Jews. The Jews were convinced that they
Go
were
to under their instruction. That's where you're at. Under their instruction.
Under their instruction, therefore, the two principal Arabian tribes trace back the line of their ancestors to these two progenitors. The real Arabs, the Yemirites, are supposing themselves to be descended from Yathrib.
Mm-hmm.
The pseudo-Arabs in the north, on the other hand, deriving their origin from Ishmael.
Right, these two are intermarried. Go ahead.
These points of contact, granted the Jews, had ample opportunity to multiply the proofs of their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
The Arabs loved genealogical tables and were delighted to be able to follow their descent and history so far into hoary antiquity. Accordingly, all this appeared to them both evident and flattering. They consequently exerted themselves to bring their genealogical records and traditions into unison with the biblical accounts.
Because of the Jews, they took their lineage from the Bible. Go ahead.
Although their traditions extended over less than 6 centuries on the one side to their progenitor Yathrib, and his sons or grandsons Yimyar and Joktan.
Joktan is Joktan, same guy. Go ahead.
And on the other to Adnan. Yet, in their utter disregard of historical accuracy, this fact constituted no obstacle. Without a scruple, the southern Arabians called themselves Joktanites.
Joktanites, yep, Joktanites, go ahead.
And the northern Arabians, Ishmaelites.
Ishmaelites, northern, go ahead.
They readily accorded to the Jews the rights of relationship. That is to say, equality and all the advantages attending it.
Right, because we gave them their historical genealogy, their origin, and they gave us peace and sanctuary in the land. Go ahead.
The Arabs with us in intimate intercourse with the Jews, and the sons of the desert, whose unpoetical mythology afforded them no matter for inspiration, derived much instruction from Judaism. Under these circumstances, many Arabs could not fail to develop peculiar affection for Judaism, and some embraced this religion, though their conversion had not been thought of by the Jews.
Right, so they were following us, but we weren't converting them on purpose. They just started following behind us and adopting some of our laws among themselves. Go ahead.
As they had practiced circumcision while heathen, their conversions to Judaism were particularly easy.
Right, they're already keeping them circumcision. Why? Because of Abraham. That was passed on among them. So they were already keeping circumcision because they were Abraham's line. They maintained that tradition. Go ahead.
The members of a family among the Arabs were indissolubly bound to one another. And according to their phalarchic constitution, the individuals identified themselves with the tribe. This brought about that when a chieftain became a Jew, his whole clan at once followed him, the wisest, into the fold of Judaism. It is expressly recorded about several Arabian tribes that they were converted to Judaism. Such were the Benu Kanana, a warlike, quarrelsome clan related to the most respected Qurayshites of Mecca, and several other families of the tribes, As and Karad.
Yeah, the Qurayshites is the line that Muhammad comes from, the Quraysh tribe, the Qurayshites. Go ahead.
The Charaz.
Because you read historically, I believe Muhammad's cousin taught him a lot of Christian tenets and so forth because that line already got somewhat converted to Judaic tenets and customs. Okay? The Qurayshites of Mecca. Go ahead. And several what?
The Qurayshites in Mecca.
And several
other families of the tribes. As and Shazaraj
and Yathrib. Yathrib is the land we took possession of before Muhammad conquered us, and we named it Medina. All right, so now let's go to, what do I want? Page 71.
Got it.
You may have to jump through it because it's a lot of reading. I don't spend too much time reading all of this.
Judaism. Judaism not only won over to its side many tribes in Arabia and taught the sons of the desert certain indispensable arts, but it also inspired the founder of a religion who played an important part in the great drama of the world's history and whose influence survives to this day. Muhammad, the prophet of Mecca and Yathrib, was, it is true, not a loyal son of Judaism.
He did not subscribe to it like his family did. Go ahead.
But he appreciated its highest aims and was induced by it to give to the world a new faith known as Islam. Founded on a lofty basis, this religion has exercised a wonderful influence on the course of Jewish history and on the evolution of Judaism. In the peaceful meetings in Mecca, his birthplace, at the public markets, and on his travels, Abdallah's son heard much spoken of the religion, which acknowledges the belief in one
Abdallah
God.
is his father. Abdallah is his father. Okay, that's his father's name. Abdallah. Go ahead.
Who rules the world.
Abdullah, Abdallah, whatever. Go ahead. That's his father's name. Go ahead.
He heard much of Abraham, who devoted himself to the service of God and of religion and morality, which gave the disciples of Judaism the advantage over infidels. Muhammad's mind, at once original and receptive, was powerfully impressed by all this. Waraka Ibn Nafal, a celebrated Meccan and a descendant of the noble Quraysh race, was a cousin of Khadijah, Muhammad's wife. And he had embraced Judaism and knew Hebrew well. He certainly imbued Muhammad with a love for the religion of Abraham.
So his family, this is his cousin here, I believe, right? Is this his cousin? Yep, his cousin. Right. That's it. Yep, go ahead.
Muhammad's first doctrines were strongly tinged with Jewish coloring.
Yep, meaning his doctrines he taught came out the Bible. Came out the Bible. That a lot of you Muslims say the Bible's corrupt, but whatever Bible was corrupt during that time, your prophet was borrowing from it. I need to know exactly which Bible was corrupt because your Muhammad, he confirmed them. He confirmed the words of the Bible in this book and in your Quran. It says it verbatim, and I had the passages, so don't deny it. If you're watching, go ahead.
He first conceived them when suffering from epilepsy And he communicated them to his friends, pretending that they were revealed to him by the angel Gabriel.
Wait. He first conceived them when what?
Suffering from epilepsy.
Muhammad was suffering from epilepsy. This man has psychological problems. Keep going.
And he communicated them to his friends, pretending.
Doing what?
Pretending.
What?
Pretending.
Pretending. Go ahead.
That they were revealed to him by the angel Gabriel.
So he's having all these fits, whatever the hell he's doing, epilepsy, and say, an angel visited me, an angel. That's what's happening.
And he used our angel.
He used our angel to tell it. Because remember, his cousin taught him about Gabriel and them, of the Bible. Go ahead.
First and foremost, he proclaimed the simple but fundamental principle of Judaism. There is no God but Allah.
He rather than say God but the Lord God of Israel, he says Allah instead.
Right. That's Deuteronomy 4 and 6.
Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Go ahead.
There is no God but Allah. Later, his
Let's get that real quick. Let's get that. We got a lot of reading to do.
That Deuteronomy 6 and 4?
Deuteronomy 4 and 6.
Oh, yeah.
I know Bishop Yalshaw read it last night.
Let's get it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of all the nations. Which
6 and 4.
6 and 4, yeah, okay.
Damn. Come on. I put faith in you, Jed. Come on, man.
Y'all never believe me, man.
You never believe
I
me?
guess your mind is perverted. Listen to you.
I got it right, though.
Yeah,
All praise to the highest, man.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He gave the increase.
Apologies, man.
Yeah, just, I don't know. Just sometimes
The most I give the increase.
you hit or miss
also.
it, man. You hit or miss sometimes, man. We can't call it. 6 and 4. Let me 6 and 4.
Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 4. Hear, O Israel.
But that scripture goes on because the Arabs learned how to live their lives properly based upon chapter 4, verse 6. So it does tie in. All right, 6 and 4.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
So he took that and said, what? There is no God but Allah. That's all. He just changed it. He just revamped it, revised it. Go ahead. And notice, understand, we'll hit you with something. Jump up to in the peaceful meetings in Mecca. Read it again. Watch me show you something. Because remember, they say that that Muhammad was the prophet that brought about Islam. I'm gonna show you. Just read it. Read that.
In the peaceful meetings in Mecca, his birthplace, at the public markets, and on his travels, Abdallah's son heard much spoken of the religion which acknowledges the belief in one God.
Stop. Abdullah is the father, or Abdullah is the father of Muhammad. You know what word's in his name?
Allah.
Allah is the word in his name. This is before Muhammad was born. His father already had that name because they were already worshiping that God prior to Muhammad.
So his name means Father God.
It's servant of servants of
servant.
Allah. Abd is servant, like Abadiah, or Abd Allah, means servant of or slave of Allah, because they were already worshiping that stone with the Joctonites.
The ancient temple.
Ancient temple. That's exactly. So they're already worshiping that God. He was the top god of the pantheon of those 360 gods they worshipped, and Allah was the top one, also known as Hubal. Hubal. It's Baal. It's the same Baal. It's the same God. It's the same thing. But they had other gods under him, like different. A pantheon. They have the main top, like Zeus is the top god, and you have a bunch of gods under him. That's how it was in Arabia, Mecca, and Muhammad. And then Muhammad started coming across the scriptures about monotheism and said, okay, well, rather than worship all the gods under Allah, let's just honor the main one. Right. And that's what he did based upon his conversations with his cousin and his family who subscribed somewhat to Judaism. So it says, then he came up with the whole thing, there is no God but Allah, after his epileptic episodes. Look up that real fast, epilepsy, please. Let's see what that is. Let's look it up real quick. Epilepsy, let's see what that is. Epilepsy. A lot of you Muslims are going to get mad, but I don't really care. Understand, I have no problem with my brothers who are in Islam in terms of them being my people. But I do have a problem with the ideology I follow and the man behind it. I have a problem with him and that nation because that nation were heavily instrumental in enslaving and destroying our people to the fullest extent. Okay? Along with the Europeans. Okay, these Arabs that you guys subscribe and love so much are the forerunners of slavery. They're the forerunners of the transatlantic slave trade, And they're the forerunners of the trans-Pacific slave trade that's unspoken of in history books.
This is
We're gonna share it. We're gonna go into that too. That's gonna that topic there opens a can of worms you never ever came across before. I assure you. Read that.
Epilepsy, a chronic brain disorder.
A chronic brain disorder. That's what Muhammad had. Go ahead.
That causes seizures due to abnormal electrical activity in the brain.
So this dude had seizures and said, "Oh, Allah, I saw Gabriel." That's what he did. That's exactly what he did. And he pretended during these episodes here to see an angel that spoke to him and then said, "There's no God but Allah." That's in the Bible. Without the Allah stuff. So let's go back.
We at the bottom.
Yeah, we were at later. There is no God but Allah, later of his pride.
There's no God but Allah. Later, his pride led him to add as an integral part.
His pride led him to do what?
As an integral part of the confession of faith.
Go ahead.
And Muhammad is his prophet.
Now he's a prophet of this God that he came across during this epileptic episode of his. Read on. 72.
Judaism may justly consider his teachings a victory of his own truths and a fulfillment of the prophecy that one day every knee will bend to the only God and every tongue will worship him.
That's in Isaiah. Where's that at? Let's get that real quick. Let's get that. This guy's just pulling from scripture and saying it's about him. That's all he's doing.
That's it.
That's all he was doing.
Stop the cap.
And then when you get there, hold on a second. We'll get there. I'm going to get something else so you get that.
Romans 14:11. Say the same thing.
Yeah, whichever one you get first. Old Testament or New, doesn't matter. Either way, he stole it.
The book of Romans, chapter 14 and verse 11. For it is written, as I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to God.
That's it. So that's Paul, right? That's Romans?
Yes.
That's Paul. That's Paul citing from what? What's he citing from? It should be in your Bible. Annotation should be there. Where's Paul citing from? It says, as it is written, every knee shall bow. Where's Paul pulling from? Let's see where he's pulling from. Because what Paul's pulling from is what Muhammad pulled from.
Isaiah 45, yes.
Isaiah, I was right. Isaiah 45, right?
Yep.
Read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 23.
Come on.
I have sworn by myself, the word is going out of my mouth in righteousness, and shall not return, that unto me every knee shall bow, every tongue shall swear. Surely shall one say in the Lord, have I righteousness and strength.
Mm-hmm.
Even to him shall men come, and all that are incensed against him shall be ashamed.
That's all I want. So that's what Paul was citing from. That's what Muhammad was citing from. Isaiah. All right, let's go back.
Says, one day every knee will bend to the only God, and every tongue will worship him. For Muhammad taught the unity of God, that there are no gods beside him, anti-Trinity, and that he may not be represented by any image.
Just nonsense. Go ahead.
He preached against the desolate idolatry which was practiced with 300 idols.
What I mean by nonsense is that the Arabs, the Muslims believe that there should be no images at all, whereas the Lord gave us images in the temple that they built that damn gold, that dome on top of, where it used to be. That's what I mean by nonsense. We didn't worship any images, but we did have images amongst us representing our God to some form or extent, is what I mean. Read on.
He preached against the desolate idolatry which was practiced with 300 idols in the Kaaba.
360 for each day of the year. Go ahead.
He declaimed against the immorality which was openly and shamelessly practiced amongst the Arabs. He condemned the revolting practice of parents who from fear or in order to be rid of them drowned their newborn daughters. And he declared that there was nothing new in all these changes, but that they were commanded by the faith of the ancient religion of Abraham. A similar thing happened at the time when Paul of Tarsus first made known to the Hellenists the history and principles of Judaism.
Right, to the Jews of Greeks speaking. Go ahead.
The best teaching.
Greek-speaking Jews. Go ahead.
The best teachings in the Quran are borrowed from the Bible or the Talmud.
Read again.
The best teachings in the Quran are borrowed from the Bible or the Talmud.
The Talmud. He borrowed from the Talmud also regarding language with little kids. So, and the Talmud is a compilation of stupid niggas that pretty much throughout the centuries wrote a bunch of opinions and commentaries on what they should do with God's laws during exile. Right. That's what the Talmud is. There's nothing inspired of God whatsoever in the Talmud. There's a bunch of Jews and scribes that hated the Messiah, that hated Christ, by the way, that wrote a bunch of opinions on what laws we should apply and which ones do not apply during our time of exile, and they started making things up. And then when they started to convert heathens over, those heathens, the so-called, began to add into that same Talmud today and started making things up. Okay? And then eventually the Talmud became what? The primary source of their religion, and the Bible was pushed to the side. Likewise with Islam. They followed the Bible, then it was eventually, they had the Quran, they pushed it to the side. The Catholic Church, same thing. They had the Bible, then eventually they had what's called the Catechism, push it to the side. All these big three religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, all cite the Bible but don't believe in the Bible. Right. That's why they get along so well. They all follow the same devil.
That's your Abrahamic faith.
There's your three Abrahamic bull-s faiths. Okay? So now, read on. So read again. The best what?
The best teachings in the Quran are borrowed from the Bible or the Talmud. In consequence of the difficulties which Muhammad, for several years, 612 to 633, had to encounter in Mecca on account of these purified doctrines, there grew around the sound kernel, a loathsome husk.
What?
Muhammad's connection with the Jews of Arabia assisted not a little in determining and modifying the teachings of Islam.
So the Jews of Arabia were schooling him on the Bible. That's where his knowledge came from. Go ahead.
Portions of the Quran are devoted to them.
Yes, I read it. They definitely are. Go ahead.
At times in a friendly, at times in a hostile
because the Jews like this. We're not following that nonsense, man. You learn from us. Why are we going to follow you for? We taught you. Why are we going to follow you? We taught you. So he started to speak well on one hand and then badmouth us the other hand. Go ahead.
When Muhammad failed in obtaining a hearing in Mecca, the seat of idolatrous worship in Arabia, and even ran the risk of losing his life there, he addressed himself to some men from Yathrib and urged them to accept his doctrine.
Yathrib is us, the Jews. Go ahead.
These men were more familiar with Jewish doctrines than the Meccans. They found in Muhammad's revelations a close analogy to what they had often heard from their Jewish neighbors.
Come on.
So
you had whoever this was, Arabs or Jews, they heard Muhammad was running from, the Arabs are trying to kill this guy because he was saying, oh, stop following the idols. So let's kill this dude. So he runs over to those who follow Judaism, which he stole or borrowed from, to convince them that he's a prophet and what he teaches is the right thing. So to gain a following. That's what he's doing here. Go ahead.
They therefore showed themselves inclined to follow him and caused him
to be
invited to Yathrib.
Right. Well, that's the settlement of the Jews. Go ahead.
Where his teachings were likely to be favorably received on account of the numerous Jews residing there.
Right. The numerous Jews residing there. There's the three tribes primarily. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi were there. Go ahead.
As soon as he came there, 622, the year
expatriation.
Hijrah, Muhammad took care to win over the Jews of Yathrib and to set forth his aims, as though he desired to bring about the universal recognition of Judaism in Arabia.
Go ahead.
When he saw the Jews fasting on the Day of Atonement,
watch this.
He said, it becomes us more than Jews to fast on this day.
He said, okay, so they fast on this Day of Atonement. We're going to fast too. Go ahead.
And he established a fast day. Ashira. Muhammad entered into a
which became called Ramadan. That's what it became, Ramadan. Go ahead.
Muhammad entered into a formal alliance for mutual defense with the Jewish tribes and instituted the custom of turning towards Jerusalem in prayer.
Qibla.
The Qibla.
Go ahead. So he faced the east, faced Jerusalem at first. When we was at peace, he would face Jerusalem. But watch, it changes over time. Go ahead.
In the disputes between the Jews and his disciples, Muslims, which were submitted to his judgment, he behaved leniently to the Jews. For this reason, Muhammad's disciples preferred to bring the matters in dispute before a Jewish chief because they expected more impartiality from him than from Muhammad.
Damn. So when they had matters among themselves, they would go to the Jews because we dealt with matters properly. Muhammad did not. He was not a just leader. Go ahead, which is crazy. Go ahead.
Muhammad, for a long time, employed a Jewish scribe to do his correspondence.
He employed a what?
Jewish scribe. to do his correspondence.
That's who wrote them books. Jewish scribes. He couldn't read or write. So who was writing for him? Go ahead.
He himself, being unable to write,
Illiterate.
these advances on the part of a man of so much promise were very flattering to the Jews of Medina.
And there are many variations of the Quran written, various ones. They'll lie about it, but there were various renditions of it written. Then they came to a conclusion. We'll just follow this one right here that came from his contemporaries like Uthman, Becker. He had a bunch of contemporaries, like 4 of them. Abu Bakr, Uthman, and some other guy. I forgot the last 2 names, the last 2. But these guys had their own rendition. They all decided to follow, I believe, Uthman's later on. Go ahead.
They looked upon him to some extent as a Jewish proselyte and expected to see Judaism through him attain to power in Arabia. Some of them followed him devotedly and were his faithful allies, Ansar. Amongst them was a learned youth, Abdullah ibn Salam, of the race of Kanuka. Abdullah and other Jews assisted Muhammad in propagating the Quran.
Read it again. Abdullah what?
Abdullah and other Jews.
Abdullah and other Jews. He was a Jew also. Go ahead.
Assisted Muhammad in propagating the Quran.
And spreading its influence. The Jews, our people are stupid as hell, man. We'll sit there and we'll push a doctrine that's for our detriment.
Damn.
The same thing happened with the Catholic doctrine too. We spread that, got enslaved through it. Spread Islam, enslaved through it. Spread Islam, enslaved through it. Spread Judaism to the Khazars, enslaved through it. It never fails. Get Sirach 12 and 10. We don't learn, man. Sirach 12 and 10. We never learn.
The book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
The Bible says, never trust thine enemies. Go ahead.
For as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
Because we knew, remember, we taught these people who they were according to the Bible. We read in the Bible that these nations are our enemies. We read it, but we still, okay, we're going to tell you who you are. We're going to share your origins with you. And then we spread their nonsense. Read on.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee.
That's what we do with the Arabs. We set them by us. Go ahead.
Lest when he have overthrown thee.
Did they overthrow us in Yathrib and rename the land Medina? Yes, it happened. Because we trusted them. Go ahead.
He stand up in thy place.
Okay, let me ask you a question. The top half of Africa, who had it first? We had it first. Who has it now? The Arabs have it now. Those are all primarily Islamic countries. The whole top half of Africa is primarily Islamic. Right. And the sub-Sahara, the bottom of Africa, is us. How we get to the bottom? Because they pushed us there through enslavement and murder and war. Read on.
He standeth.
Read 12 again.
Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat.
They took our seat. Took out the Palestinians. Why are they in there? How'd they get in there before the Israelis showed up? How'd they get there? We were conquered out the land, and they took it. Go ahead.
And thou at the last remember my words.
The Bible, go ahead.
And be pricked therewith.
13.
Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent?
When you play around with your enemy, you can't be blamed. You can't blame. No one can. How I put it? You can't pity a charmer that play around with a snake. You can't feel sorry for them because they brought it on. What he's saying is you bring it on yourself. You know that dumb old school where the guy plays the flute, he plays it and the snake starts dancing around, and if it bites him, you can't feel sorry for the charmer.
Yeah, you playing with fire.
You playing with fire. You playing around with your enemy. You playing game. The Bible is saying that when you trust your enemy, you're playing around with them. Read on. Read 13 again.
Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast?
Is not Ishmael a wild man? Did we come near him? Yes. Yes, we did. Here we go. This stupid ass guy here. Do 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 do. And the snake is dancing and it bites him. You can't feel sorry for that dude. All you can do is laugh because that's a stupid thing he's doing. That's dumb what he's doing. Read on.
So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins.
What? Read on.
Who will pity?
You can't pity. Read on.
For a while he will abide with thee.
Did Muhammad abide with us for a while? Yes. Did the Quraysh tribe and Arabs that were under him abide with us for a while? Yes. Read on.
But if thou begin to fall,
But when we start to what?
but if thou begin to fall,
They went to war with us to start to conquer us, city by city, land by land, piece by piece, tribe by tribe. Go ahead.
he will not tarry.
He will not be by you again. He will not abide with you anymore. Go ahead.
An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes.
Go ahead.
But if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
He will overthrow you and you will become his slave. All right? They call us Abid now. Now we're the Abid. We're the slaves now. All right? Now let's go back to where we was at. And even to this day, a Negro right now watching this class is like, yo, you insulting my prophet because you a stupid nigga, you.
Right.
You just dumb as hell. Read on.
The unbelieving Arabs frequently reproached him, saying that he was an ear, accepted anything as truth.
Read it again.
The unbelieving Arabs frequently reproached him, saying that he was an ear, accepted anything as truth. That it was not the angel Gabriel who was teaching him, but a mortal man.
His cousin.
Nevertheless, though Abdullah ibn Salam and other Jewish Ansars supported him, they were far from abandoning Judaism on this account and continued to observe the Jewish commandments, and Muhammad was at first not offended by this conduct.
He didn't mind. Go ahead. But he wanted power. Go ahead.
Next page. Next page. Oh, go back. 74. Come on, y'all hitting the button? What's going on?
So, to make a long story short, this man, he was met with opposition at first. So he was very patient. He took his time, he waited, and eventually he gained the power that he sought after. But he used us to spread that doctrine to make him a prophet when he was not a prophet whatsoever. Never was. All right, let's read on. Let's go.
But only a small number of the Jews of Medina joined the band of believers, particularly when they perceived his selfish efforts, his hardiness, and his insatiable love of women.
This guy was a womanizer. Go ahead.
They bore in their hearts too high an ideal of their ancient prophets to place this enthusiast, who longed after every beautiful woman. On an equal footing with them.
Watch this.
See him, said the Jews.
See him, said the Jews. Go ahead.
He is not satisfied with food.
He ain't satisfied with no food.
And has no other desire than that of being surrounded by women.
That was what we said about him. We mocked him all the time. This guy, he loved them hoes, man. This guy loved women all the time. He don't care about eating no food. He want women. Go ahead.
If he is a prophet, he should confine himself to his duties as a prophet and not turn to women.
Damn.
Other Jews said, if Muhammad is a prophet, he shall appear in Palestine. For only in that place God appears unto his elect.
So we knew where prophets came from. Prophets came out of Israel and Israel only. He was not from there.
That's right.
Let's get that, Amos.
Bring it out.
Let's get that. We knew where the prophets came from. They did not come out of Ishmael. We always known that. They come from God's elect.
The book of Amos. Chapter 3. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, 2.
This guy, man.
Yo, pray for me.
Oh, man, this guy came.
Chapter 2 of verse 11.
Oh, gosh.
And I raised up of your sons for prophets.
I raised up from your sons for prophets. Go ahead.
And of your young men for Nazarites. Is it not even thus, O ye children of Israel?
So Israel, the Most High raised up the children of Israel for prophets. Not Ishmael, not Moab, not Midian, not Joktan. Israel were the prophets of God. The Israelites were the prophets of God, and the prophets of God alone.
Right.
It's if you're a prophet, take your behind to Palestine then. Go over there. That's where the prophets are from. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord.
That's all I want. Go back to the book. The Jews, you read the Jews now. The Jews also objected.
The Jews also objected to him, saying, ye pride yourself on being of Abraham's faith. But Abraham did not use the flesh and milk of camels, Muhammad's chief opponents on the Jewish side were Phineas ibn Azura, a man of caustic wit.
So this dude, these were his opposition. You had Phineas, his opposition. Go ahead.
Who seized every opportunity to make Muhammad appear ridiculous.
Jake will mock you, bro. We will mock you to the sun, sun up. Go ahead.
Furthermore,
Remember, see, he had caustic wit. Watch, read on.
He seized every opportunity to make Muhammad appear ridiculous. Furthermore, the far-famed Ka'b ibn Ashraf, the offspring of an Arab father and a Jewish mother.
So this guy wasn't even Jake, but he was a tear. But nonetheless, he had Jake back around his mom's side. Watch this.
A poet, Abu Afiq, an old man more than 100 years old who endeavored to arouse hate against Muhammad amongst the ignorant Arabs.
Go ahead.
And Abdullah, the son of Sarah, who's looked upon as the most learned Jew in Hejaz.
So another Jew. Go ahead. These are Jews are Arab names. Go ahead.
Phineas is the author of a witty answer to Muhammad's invitation to the Jewish tribe of Banu Kanuka to accept Islam. Muhammad, in his epistle, had used the words, "Lend yourselves unto God," as a beautiful pledge. Phineas answered, "God is so poor that he borrows from us."
Yo, read again. Muhammad said, what in his letter?
Muhammad, in his epistle, had used the words, "Lend yourselves unto God," as a beautiful pledge.
Go ahead.
Phineas answered, "God is so poor that he borrows from us."
He's like, yeah, God's so poor, he borrowed from us. Yeah, he's mocking him. Go ahead. Because Muhammad's saying something stupid, he's mocking him. Go ahead.
Thus the Jewish opponents of Muhammad placed a ridiculous meaning on his sayings and revelations.
Go ahead.
And treated him contemptuously, not anticipating that the fugitive from Mecca, who had come to Medina for assistance, would shortly humble and in part destroy their tribes.
Yes, go ahead.
And that he would control the destiny of
Many of their
co-religionists in times to come.
He'll destroy you. He'll bite you. Go ahead.
They relied too much on their own courage and strength and forgot that the most dangerous enemy is he whom one disregards too much.
That's what we did. We turned a blind eye to Ishmael. Ishmael's a wild man. We forgot. Go ahead.
Muhammad, indeed, with sly dissimulation, at first accepted the contempt bestowed on him by the Jews with apparent
Equanimity.
Equanimity.
He stayed calm. Okay, all right. He played peaceful. Okay, all right. You making fun of me? All right. Go ahead.
He advised his disciples, fight only in becoming manner with the people who believe in the Holy Writ, Jews, and say, we believe in that which has been revealed to us and to you. Our God is the same as yours, and we are faithful to him. But the mutual discontent made it difficult to maintain peace permanently.
So he kept trying to be a peace warrior, but the Jews were like, man, the hell with you, man. We didn't care. Go ahead.
On the one side, the Jews did their best to alienate Muhammad's followers. They succeeded in prejudicing the first man in Medina, the Kharajite, Abdullah ibn Ubay against Muhammad, so that he remained antagonistic to Muhammad to the end of his days. This man was about to be elected king of his town, but through the arrival of Muhammad, he had been cast into the shade. On the other side, his followers urged him to declare to what extent he held to Judaism. They saw that his disciples amongst the Jews still continued to observe the Jewish laws and to abstain from camel's flesh.
Didn't eat that's unlawful. Campbell, go ahead.
And they said to him, if the Torah be a divine book, then let us follow its teachings.
Right, go ahead.
Since Muhammad was thoroughly an Arab.
Thoroughly an Arab. No Jew whatsoever. Thoroughly an Arab. Mom and dad. Go ahead.
He could not join Judaism.
Whoa. Damn. Since he was thoroughly an Arab, he cannot join Judaism. He cannot become a Jew. They converted slightly, but they can never, ever be Israelites. Ever. That goes for all nations, too. Read it again.
Since Muhammad was thoroughly an Arab, he could not join Judaism. And he perceived that the Arabs would not conform to religious customs, which were quite strange to them.
Go ahead.
So it only remained for him to break with the Jews definitely. He thereupon published a long surah called the Surah of the Cow, full of invectives against the Jews.
Yep, all in the Quran he has things bad against the Jews. Go ahead.
He altered the position assumed in prayer. And decreed that the believers should no longer turn their faces towards Jerusalem, but towards Mecca and the Kaaba.
Face Mecca instead. Go ahead.
He discarded fasting on the Day of Atonement, the Ashura, and instituted instead the holy month, Ramadan.
See that? See what he did? He started changing things around. Okay, I can't join you. I'm going to go against you. Go ahead.
as had been customary among the Arabs from very ancient times.
So the Arabs were keeping Judaic law. That's how in some books we read they were doing baptisms and all of that because they were following behind us. They were praying to Jerusalem. They start to stop. It began to stop after a while. Go ahead.
He was obliged to withdraw much of what he had in the beginning given out as God's revelation.
Giving out as God's revelation. Hold that. I'm going to break soon. Give me Baruch. Baruch, chapter 3. And we're going to read verse 16.
The book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 16. Where are the princes of the heathen?
So the context here is the heathen. Where are the princes of the heathen? Go ahead.
Become, and such as ruled the beast upon the earth. They that had their pastime with the fowls of the air, and they that hoarded up silver and gold, wherein men trust, and made no end of their getting.
Jump down to verse 20 now. The context is still heathen.
Verse 20.
Go ahead.
Young men have seen light, and dwelt upon the earth.
Young men is heathen. Go ahead.
But the way of knowledge have they not known.
God did not give the nations knowledge, the knowledge that he gave to his people. Go ahead.
Nor understood the paths thereof.
Or the laws thereof. Go ahead. Not in full. Go ahead.
Nor laid hold of it.
Nor held on to it. Go ahead.
Their children were far off from that way.
That's why Muhammad, his family did have a history of following Jewish law to an extent, but because they were not full Israelites, they weren't following the laws completely. Okay, there's some tenets here and there. Go ahead.
It hath not been heard of in Canaan.
The knowledge of God has not been heard of in the Africans, Canaanites. Go ahead.
Neither hath been seen in Teman.
It's not found among the Edomites, the knowledge of God, even though these are all the wise men. Teman, go ahead.
The Hagarenes.
The what?
The Hagarenes.
The what?
The Hagarenes.
These are Muslims. Hagarenes are Muslims. Children of Hagar, Ishmaelites, Arabs, Muslims today. The Hagarenes what?
That seek wisdom upon earth.
They did. Remember, we read through the whole of these pages so far, how they sought wisdom from the Jews, and they learned it to an extent. Go ahead.
The merchants of Meron.
Meron is Midian, more Arabs.
And of Teman.
And Edom, go ahead.
The authors of fable.
What are these nations? The what?
Authors of fable.
These nations are authors of stories. They make things up. Oh, I had an episode, epilepsy. I saw Gabriel. That's the fable. They make things up. Go ahead.
And searchers out of understanding. None of these.
What?
None of these.
What?
None of these.
None of these. None of them. Canaanites, Temanites, Hagarenes or Ishmaelites, same thing. Go ahead. Have known what?
None of these have known the way of wisdom.
Go ahead.
Or remember her path.
They don't deal with God or his Bible or his laws and commandments at all. We're reading that right now. Go back. We're almost done. What page is this? Where we at? We're almost
76.
done, right? After this page, we're going to take a break. Go ahead.
Muhammad now asserted that the Torah had contained many allusions to his appearance.
Now he did what now?
Muhammad now asserted that the Torah had contained many allusions to his appearance.
Now he's saying that he's in the Torah. It's the Torah's talking about him now. Authors of fables.
Right.
Authors of fables. Show me one scripture with Muhammad's name in it in the Old Testament. It's not in there. Go ahead.
And calling as a prophet, but that the Jews had expunged the passages. At first, he declared that the Jews were possessed of the true faith. Later on, he said that they honored Ezra, Ozer, as a son of God, just as the Christians did Jesus, and that the Jews were consequently to be regarded as infidels.
Now, all of a sudden, he went from saying we honor God to now we don't. Go ahead. Now we're infidels. We're unbelievers now. Keep that in mind. Infidels. Infidels. Keep that in mind, that word. Go ahead. Another word for infidel is kafir. The Arabs refer to us as kafirs. We didn't believe in Islam or attest them being a prophet. They called us kafirs. That's a derogatory term in South Africa today. But the Portuguese or those white folks got it from the Arabs they were buying us from. Kafirs. We'll get to that. Go ahead.
His hatred against the Jews who refused to accept his prophecies and saw through his designs continually widened the breach between them and him. Beef began to grow, spread. Go ahead. Although he hated the Jews in his innermost heart, yet he did not venture to provoke them by acts of violence, because his authority was not sufficiently great, and the Jews outnumbered his followers.
Right, go ahead.
But after the battle at Badr in the winter of 624, when the small body of Mohammedans gained a victory over the numerous Qurayshites, the situation changed.
Qurayshites, because his family was pagan. So he fought against his own family who were pagans, who honored that Kaaba stone, those gods. He beat them first. So it was small victories that led to big victories, and that's how he began to conquer. Go ahead.
Muhammad, whose power was greatly increased through this
go.
victory,
Uh-huh.
exchanged the attitude of a humble prophet for that of a fanatical tyrant.
So once he gained enough power, he became a madman. From humble, okay, all right, peace and blessings, Jews. Now he's a tyrannical maniac. Go ahead.
To whom any measure, even assassination, was a justifiable means of freeing himself from his enemies.
Damn.
However, he was prudent enough to avoid becoming involved in disputes with the powerful Jewish tribes.
He was still powerful. Go ahead.
He began with the weak and defenseless, a poetess.
So he started conquering the weaker of us first, then leading up to the stronger of us. Go ahead.
A poetess, Asma, daughter of Marwan, who was of Jewish descent.
This is the Israelite sister. Go ahead.
And married to an Arab.
She was married to an Arab. Here we go. Go ahead.
Was murdered at night whilst asleep because she had composed satires against the false prophet. And he commended the murderer.
Wow. He had her killed for writing books about him being a false prophet. Go ahead.
Thereupon, the Jewish tribe, the Kanuka, experiences religious wrath. It was the weakest of the Jewish Arabian tribes, and to it belonged
Phineas.
And to it belonged that Phineas ibn Azur,
Yep.
whose sarcastic wit had made Muhammad appear in a ridiculous...
sarcastic wit. Everyone's in our nation's known for that, man. Sarcastic wit. Go ahead. Which way what?
In a ridiculous
light.
Ridiculous light.
Go ahead. That's all I want. So he began to conquer the weakest of us and worked his way down to the strongest of us, but it took him time.
That's what Amalek did when they attacked us.
Yeah.
They attacked us from
They
the
all,
rear.
they all do this. Yeah, same thing. They all do the same exact thing. So real quick, we're going to take a quick break. And Lord's will, if you want to call in, if you have any questions regarding the topic, please feel free. If you are a Muslim and you have a comment, please also call in. You know, if you have any questions regarding why I'm attacking this man and his people. I love my people who are in Islam because they're my people, but I do not, for any reasons at all, have a care or concern for Ishmaelites or Arabs or Muhammad of any or his race, because they were heavily responsible and are still responsible in engaging in the slave trade of our people in areas of Africa, even to this very day. So that's the reason why I'm attacking him so heavily. All right, so if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to call in regarding the topic. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Interview real quick. Quick, what's y'all's names real fast?
Imelda Rico.
Okay.
Lenny Ramirez.
If you could use one word to describe what you see going on right here, what would you say?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
When was the last time you seen something like this?
I never seen this in my life.
How old are you?
I'm 13.
Okay.
En mi vida yo nunca había mirado algo así tan bonito. Nunca. It's like I believe in you. I really do, and I love this.
Do you know what you might be seeing right here? Do you know?
It's like something for the Bible, something like that.
Go ahead.
I mean, in my life, I never seen this before. It's my first day. Nunca.
Hey, what this is God's army, and this includes y'all. What nationality would you say you guys are from?
I'm from El Salvador.
El Salvador. You too?
From Mexico.
Okay. So the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are God's chosen people. We are all the same people, and we're coming back to that understanding here in these last days, okay?
Introduce what they call Israelites, right? They put black. Why they say that? They said Northern Kingdom don't exist. That's what they said. They said Northern Kingdom don't exist. We are still not the sons of God. That's what they said. They lied to you. You brothers are first fruits. We the first fruits. So what you gonna do? Get off your ass, stay in order, and let's go. Let's show the world.
¿Quién es el rey? ¡Cristo! ¿Quién es el rey? ¡Cristo! ¿De qué color es? ¡Negro! ¿De qué color es? ¡Negro! ¿Quiénes somos? ¡Israelitas! ¿Quiénes somos? ¡Israelitas!
Call the troops. Call the troops. Somebody better call the troops. Look, go get the troops. Hey, look, chunk a deuce to the dukes, putting mouths on the boost. We was cursed on the trees, now we back to our roots. Nigga mute, never seen a God call a truce. Holy Ghost with the power, I'ma die in this truth. You a fluke, and why do you could never be a Jew? ADL stand for Amalek is destined to lose. Got canary birds chirping to the sound of the tune. When a bird tell a hunter how the hell he can shoot. When a slave tell a king how the hell he can rule. When a boat tell the sea how the hell it can move. Guess the world on his head, put it back on his tools. If you see the purple coming, it's return of the Jews. Nigga mute.
Nigga mute, roar like the lion boldly. Full of house of kings, we flush the lies royally. We the ace of spades, so you can't fold me. Words like fire, so you can't scold me. Louis the Lip, cast the brass the cashes. Strip cut like lances, leave scratches and gashes. Prophecy ignite like matches and gases. Lord give us beauty for ashes. Now we on a quest, crying aloud, we waking the masses. Watch for serpents, venomous snakes in the grasses. Mortified members, we dropped in a casket. Breathe life into these bones, we raised like Lazarus. Nigga mute.
Nigga mute, it's quiet on the set. When the purple hit they block, they quiet on the set. Get respect, no flex, they smell a savor of death. Play silver skull and separate from your neck. The game is all rigged, you can call it a prefix. Flow sick, the next 10 plagues on Egypt, I'm focused. My foes better cease and desist. We equip with God body, hard to restrict. From Basra to the place of Allah, I God the rock, clear him out like I drop. Prime time repent, it won't be easy. Stone carved out the mountain by the smite him in each feet. Nigga mute.
Live, nigga mute. Original Royal, fervent heat, nigga mute, especially if you ain't speaking truth. Jaleel throw the beat is alley-oop, cause this word they can't refute. They thought we would crash, but we rebuke, cause these internet prophets can't compute, cause they words minute. Strong like drink is absolute. They tried to try right ankle, that's acute, but clearly they ain't know we was astute. We take the truth to new heights, so if I fall, I'ma need a parachute. Bishop on deck, stand right hand salute. Planet in its truth, nigga, I am Groot. Demons try to challenge, get rebuked. Apple with the Lord's eye, homie, you gon' know us by our fruits. Nigga mute.
Nigga mute for our God, we stand boldly. Breastplate, feet shotted, a nigga can't fold me. Toolie strapped up, that's the old me. Now we strap loose, crease cargo pants with purple and a gold tee. Flex on your block like an OG. Sail cross sea and touch land, prophesy where the Jews be. Scopers talking shit, that's usually treacherous men who lack judgment, envious and speak foolishly. This ain't a facade, it's the return of the black gods. Mobilizing your city, you might think it's the goon squad. Headliners, we cry loud, spread the news out. Turn the world upright, prophets giving the clues out. Nigga mute.
Nigga mute, Antigua and Barbuda. 5 camps, whole gang of caps and more shooters. Come against the gods and the laws, we going through ya. Cut you with a 2-edged sword, we gon' reprove ya. This quest 7, casting out demons and purging 11. Making plain the way of the gates to get to heaven. 133 and a 1, that's for the brethren. Then a 2, 3 and a 1, that's for your reverend. You hate the Lord, we showing force, it's Maranatha. Scar-fed camp, the commanders, a man handle ya. Single-minded, if you not, it's hard to follow ya. Hit the briefings, holla at Cap for audibles, nigga mute. Nigga mute.
Flying witches in school buses, we can imagine anything, thinking we got to prove something. Hating never move nothing. As you can see, yeah, you static, cause you void these commandments, won't keep the lease. Like envy, gon' bring you pieces. That envy that makes you weak, it's that envy that turns to enmity. Enmity never ceasing, you thinking that you can chase it, you chasing what you can't see. See progression come through these scriptures ain't in your reach. You blind and covered in hatred, that hatred reeks off your teeth, and you faking like you've been racing. You racing without the key and pretend to keep up an image that's been deceased. Your leak is soaked in your ignorance on the leash. Walking but you can't speak, darkness won't let you leave. Call it what you gon' call it, them garments laid at your feet. And now Satan spiritually raping you, baiting you with deceit. And now jealousy got the best of the hater is all you be, nigga mute. Nigga mute.
No, that ain't a lot, that's a legion.
hard to find a lady. Polite, elegant, and refined. Lady. A rarity, she's one of a kind. Lady. Polite, elegant, and refined.
My name is Gloria, and I was invited to the Boys and Girls Club. Everyone was actually pretty nice, and we learned about young women and how they are affected by possibly sexual abuse, the things that go on in their neighborhood. So it's good that the women were talking on different topics, being specific and directing from the Bible, because it helps, and it could encourage other kids or women or even adult women to refer back to the Bible, because that's where we learn everything.
Sons of God! We're gonna take this city. We're gonna take the kingdom. We're gonna rule them hard. This is war! This is war! This is war!
I'm here for the win, well, to get it again. The Lord call it taking the kingdom, want what's mine. Taking my time, turning and taking your freedom. Risen from the ashes, after the lashes, call it a beautiful tragedy. We've been on the brink of insanity. It's the end of your days, our calamity. Adding in, grab a friend for the finale. Curtain call on a heathen. We want forever and a day. Why would the pastor lie and say it's your season? Drop a bomb on them, Hiroshima. Drop a bomb on them cause they need it. Scrub it down, planet need a cleaning. Vagabond gone like I'm dreaming.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. This is Captain Amaziah. I'm here with all the Atlanta captains. Listen, make sure you subscribe to Sons of the Prophet YouTube page. Check them out there on Instagram, Facebook, that's right, TikTok. They got the world in a frenzy right now. They show all you youngins what not to do and what not to be. That's right. Guess what? You sons and you daughters, you could be just like them too.
That's subscribe, follow, like, and share. Like the scripture say in Proverbs 22:6, train up a child on the way he should go. So go ahead and watch out for these young men. They are righteous examples for you youth that's out there that need to look up to something that's similar in your age range.
You young prophets out there, log on, subscribe, and share. Alright? Share the content. We'll find Christ blessed. Shalom.
Think about the logic. We're teaching you that you're special, that you're above all nations. God gave you his commandments. Christ died for us, but you're shaking your head at us. You know why? Because you are a foolish and rebellious people.
You are now flying.
We want to hear bacchanal. We want to hear adultery. We want to hear fornication. We want to hear Christmas. That's what you want to hear. The Bible has your number. God has your number, black man. Nous servons moun blanc ça. That's right. Nous disons Jésus-Christ. This world is evil. It's given over to Satan. That's right. Right now, this whole planet Earth is covered under homosexuality. Faggots! Who's not gonna repent? A lot of you's gonna drop dead with the so-called white man. Yes, you are. When America gets blown to hell and back in World War III with them nuclear missiles, guess what? St. Thomas is gonna get blown off the map too.
I want to take a picture with you because you're my brother. How you gonna say F a picture, man? Come on, let's take a picture. We love you, bro. Damn, now you cursing? Now you saying F a picture? You don't want to do it for God? No. Okay. All right, brother. Stay in the spirit. We love you, man. All right? Yeah, bedroom. Be easy, man.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Deacon Isaac here with Captain as well.
Officer Yakub.
So we had the opportunity to return to Radio 1. The first time was on The Quest with Bishop Nathaniel. You heard the Bishop on his commentary on Instagram. the show that we taught where the Rasta mind went ape crap crazy on me, cursed me out. So we had the opportunity to return again and teach, and it was the same thing. Cursed me out. Y'all pray for me. We didn't even talk about Rastafarianism. I didn't even talk about Rastafarianism, but I guess from the last time he still had that sour taste in his mouth. Whatever, the word went out. We know that it's not us that they hate or they curse at. It's the Spirit of Christ that's in us. It's the mess. They hate the messenger.
We're back from the break. Let's get back into it. All right, so let's go to the question I was asked. Read that.
It says, I heard in the Quran there are stories of King Solomon having mystical powers, like him talking to birds. Does that go into how Ishmael makes up fables?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I've heard that from other sources also outside of that, but yeah, him conjuring up jinn and flying on a magic carpet, all kind of crazy stuff. So yeah, that definitely goes into fables.
And about how Mary got pregnant.
Mary, oh yeah. Okay, well, since you brought it up, since you brought it up,
don't do it.
It has to be done for the greater good.
Oh gosh.
All praise to the highest.
All right.
Yo, give Deacon his music.
No, I'm not giving him music, please.
He gives the increase the most.
It's going to increase the evil that's already in you. I can't, please don't do it. So there's a fable that goes along these lines where how the Messiah was miraculously conceived.
Who did that?
I can't.
You know who did.
There's a who goes blow on it. Anyway, so the rumor is that the angel Gabriel visited Mary, and he blew on her box, and she got pregnant. Pretty much.
Hey,
blew on her farja. That's Arabic for vagina. Farja. He blew on it, and she got pregnant, which is mad. That's worse. Also, another one. In their hadith, Muhammad believed that water can never become impure. So there was a well, and people threw their garbage in it. They threw bodies in it. Menstrual rags were thrown in there, and they drank from it. It said because water cannot become impure. So they would drink from it because water can never, ever become impure. That's the most purest form of element on earth. And it was believed that they drink from that same well that they threw bodies in and garbage in and menstrual rags in and all kind of stuff in there. That's an example of fables. So give me Daniel 9.
That's what the Lord called the nations unclean.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it is. Daniel 9. We're done with that book for the day. Daniel 9 and verse 20. 9 verse 24.
The book of Daniel chapter 9, verse 24. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon the holy city to finish the transgression.
So 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city. Go ahead. To finish the transgression, meaning bring it to a close. Go ahead.
And to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity.
And make reconciliation for iniquity is going to explain how that was done. Make reconciliation for iniquity. Go ahead.
And to bring in everlasting righteousness.
After the reconciliation of iniquity takes place. The reconciliation of iniquity will take place, and then everlasting righteousness will come after that. Go ahead.
And to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy.
Anoint the most holy goes back to reconciliation for iniquity, the Messiah. Read on.
Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem.
So the going forth of the commandment to restore and rebuild Jerusalem, that goes into Zerubbabel and Joshua, Nehemiah, Ezra. From that time of the Reconstruction era, our Reconstruction era, okay, when Babylon came and destroyed Jerusalem, and during Persian captivity, Zerubbabel, Joshua, then Nehemiah later on, Ezra, they came to rebuild it. From that time, from Persian captivity, go ahead.
Unto the Messiah, the prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks.
So from Persia to Rome, from the rebuilding of Jerusalem to the Messiah's arrival. Okay, which or his arrival, manifestation, was to Rome. Hold that. Get 2nd Esdras. You know what I want? 7. Okay, 2nd Esdras 7. Was it 28?
Yes. 2nd Esdras, chapter 7 and verse 28.
Uh-huh.
For my son Jesus
Now
shall
what?
My son Jesus.
My son Jesus, go ahead.
Shall be revealed with those
revealed, go ahead.
With those that be with
The
him.
disciples, go ahead, and the apostles, go ahead.
And they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years.
Those that remain in that time will rejoice within 400 years after Ezra's time. 70 weeks is 400. Okay, and 90 years. 70 weeks is 400, because 70 times 7 is 490 years. Okay, so you got to count that. That's the 70 weeks it's talking about. Okay, so 400 years. So you have to count the 90. This is 400 years after Ezra. We got the book. Okay, y'all on point, man. Y'all on point. All right.
Also known as the intertestamental.
Yes, the intertestamental period, which is what the Apocrypha covers. The saying of the seers is the intertestamental period, which gives you the Greek captivity. That's not mentioned. That's left out of the Protestant Bibles, which are the 66 books, as opposed to the original 80. Okay, let's go back. So within 400 years after Ezra, the Messiah would show up. Go ahead, read that again. Read verse 25 again.
Daniel chapter 9 verse 25. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem,
Persia,
unto the Messiah the Prince,
Rome,
shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks.
7 weeks, 62 weeks is 62. The 7 weeks, 7, 62. 7, 62, 69. That's 69. So a score is 20. So 7, 60 is 60. So 67 plus 2 is 69. So he's counting. So remember, he said 70 weeks in verse 24. He's saying 69. Keep that in mind. So he's talking about 69 when the Messiah shows up on the 69th year or week. Okay, that's the day. Read on.
The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times.
Even in troublous times, taking you back to the before. That's Persia, Nehemiah, Ezra. Go ahead.
And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself.
He'll be cut off in the midst of those weeks. He'll be cut off. In the midst of that 60 weeks, he'll be cut off. Go ahead.
And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary.
That's going into 70 A.D. So between 60 A.D. and 70 A.D., the Messiah will be killed in between that week, in the middle of that week. In the middle of that week, the siege began. Okay, the siege began in what year? Give me real quick. Give me Siege of Jerusalem real fast. Read on. While they're getting that.
And the end thereof shall be with the flood.
The flood means the army. An army coming flooding into an army comes in like a flood. Go ahead.
And unto the end of the war, desolations are determined.
Read on. Go ahead.
And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
Stop. Remember, he said 69 weeks. Then he says he shall confirm the covenant for 1 week. That's the extra day, giving you 70 weeks. So the Messiah would die within the 60s, and then then the week of that same week 60. Go ahead.
And in the midst of the week
as in the 60s. Go ahead.
He shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate.
Because they built a pagan temple, a city, on top of the temple's ruins. I forgot they call it Italia. I'll show it to y'all, what they built on top of it. Get that real quick, what I asked you to get. The Siege of Jerusalem. Hold on a second, look it up now. Regarding abominations.
Siege of Jerusalem, 70 CE. The Siege of Jerusalem of 70 CE was the decisive event of the First Jewish-Roman War from 66 to 73 Common Era.
From what?
From 66 to 73 Common Era.
From what?
From 66 to 73 Common Era.
66 to what? To 73. How many days is that? That's 7 days. That's 1 week. That's 1 week.
Dang.
So from that time, from the 60s, from that time, he's telling you from that time frame, from that week, that's the 70 week. That's so the midst of the week, he shall do what? Cause the oblation to cease.
That was during the Passover.
That was during Passover, yes. It caused the oblation to cease. So the oblation, the sacrificing to cease, and they overthrew Jerusalem within 7 years. So that's a week. That's why it says. Read verse 27 again. Hold that there. Leave that page up there. Read again. 27 again.
Verse 27. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
1 week. Go ahead. Watch this.
And in the midst of the week.
The what?
In the midst of the week.
In the midst of the 7 days. That's 65 or 66 AD to 73 AD. That's the middle of the week that the temple was attacked, so that the season began. So Daniel is giving you a clear play-by-play of history verbatim. There's no denying it. There's no arguing it. Oh, the Bible's corrupt. You guys are retarded. Just stop talking. This is straight, clear, concise prophecy. Numerically accurate. The year is accurate. You can't deny nothing. Just shut up and be quiet. And it mentions the Messiah here. For you anti-Messianic Negroes out there. I don't believe in the Messiah. You're retarded too. All right? So the Messiah, okay, in between that time, the Messiah will be born and die. That's why it says earlier, it says reconciliation for iniquity goes back to who? The prince or the Messiah being cut off. Okay, so give me Luke 21 now. Why'd I go there? Because this ties into Luke 21. Luke 21 and 20. I didn't go on a tangent. You're going to see where I'm going with this.
The book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Remember Daniel 9, desolations are determined, overspread. Now, in terms of desolations, it says that Hadrian decided to, give me, type in Aelia, Aelia, A-E-L-I-A. A-E-L-I-A, C-A-P-I-T-O-L-I-N-A. Aelia Capitolina. Capitolina, yes. Read that. Let's see what this is.
Aelia Capitolina. Full name in Latin. Colonia Aelia Capitolina was a Roman colony founded during Emperor Hadrian's visit to Judea in 129 and 130 AD, centered around Jerusalem, which had been almost totally razed after the siege of 70 AD.
That's in Daniel 9. Watch this.
A sanctuary to Roman god Jupiter was built on the Temple Mount, and statues of Roman deities were erected in the city, and Jews were forbidden entrance to the city. The ban on Jews was maintained until the Muslim conquest of Jerusalem in 636.
Islam took over. Go ahead.
The Aelia part of the name was used in Arabic as Ilya during the
Umayyad Caliphate.
Caliphate.
So, they defiled the temple. They destroyed it, and they built a pagan city or temple on top of the mount. And then the Arabs came and built their temple on top of that mount. Now, so give me, real quick, hold on a second, hold on. Give me 2 Maccabees 6 and verse 1. What the Greeks did, the Romans did the exact same thing after. And Daniel prophesied both.
2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers, and not to live after the laws of God.
Come on.
And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem. And to call it the temple of Jupiter. The temple of Jupiter Olympus.
The temple of Jupiter. The Romans did the same thing. Go ahead.
And that in Gerizim.
Now, this is the English rendition of it, because this is the English rendition of it. The Greeks had a different name but it wasn't Jupiter. The Romans called it Jupiter, but the Greeks had the same, different name for the same god, which still goes back to, in English, Jupiter. Read again, verse 1 again. Verse 2 again.
And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter.
Jupiter is Zeus. Go ahead.
Jupiter Olympus. And that in Gerizim
Samaria, go ahead.
Of Jupiter, the defender of strangers. And they did desire.
As they did.
Sorry, as they did desire that dwelt in the place.
So that's the Greeks did before we cleansed it. Then, after the Greeks were overthrown by the Romans conquered us also and did the exact same thing and erected a temple on top of the mount where the temple used to be under the same God. Again. Same people. It's because it's the same people. That's why. Luke 21.
Luke chapter 21.
Verse 20.
And verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out.
Those who live outside don't come back in. Those who live inside, get out of there. Go ahead.
And let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto.
Remember earlier they weren't allowed entrance back in there. Go ahead.
For these be the days of vengeance,
Go ahead.
that all things which are written may be fulfilled.
Daniel, go ahead. Daniel 9, go ahead.
But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people.
24.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
Roman sword, go ahead.
And shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
Israelis and Palestinians. Go ahead.
Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
So their time in the land is up. So the Palestinians and the Israelis now are in the land. The land is being trodden down of Gentiles. That took place after Daniel's prophecy, or based upon Daniel's prophecy from verse 24 to 27. Okay? So that's how you read earlier that Ishmael got in there around the 630s AD. Now, let's get history of the Jews. I want Grazel now. Page 250, and then y'all can, thou art loosed. Page 250.
A History of the Jews, Solomon Grazel.
This book y'all should get. It's very, very informative. It got a bunch of stuff in there, a lot of stuff in there. You got the time, you'll find stuff in there. Page 250.
The Conquest of North Africa. Origin of North African Jewry.
Origin of what?
North African Jewry.
Origin of what?
North African Jewry.
Origin of North African. Remember I asked y'all a question earlier. Who has the top half of Africa now? Do the Israelites have top half of Africa? No, we don't. It's gone. We lost it. Go ahead.
Stories, more or less credible, agree that the Jewish settlement in North Africa was a very ancient date.
We were the first inhabitants there. Not the first, but primarily the first foreigners there, because you had Hamites there first. So we were the second to arrive there. Go ahead.
It may indeed be true that individual Israelites came there as early as the days of King Solomon, in whose times cities established by Tyrian and Sidonian colonists were active commercially.
Right, because you had Hamites, that's Canaanites. The Canaanites had active trading going on when we dwelt in those lands. Go ahead.
Jews are known to have lived in Cyrenaica, Tripoli, soon after the reign of Ptolemy the First.
Jews resided in the top half of Africa, Tripoli. Go ahead. Or Tunis. Go ahead.
In the 3rd century BCE. Their numbers were augmented by fugitives from Antiochus Epiphanes of Syria before he was defeated by the Maccabean army.
So many of us fled to North Africa during the time of the Greeks, during Antiochus Epiphanes' reign of terror. We ran to Africa. Go ahead. We ran further into Africa. Go ahead.
One of these refugees was Jason of Cyrene, who wrote a book describing the Maccabean War.
He's in Maccabee. He wrote Maccabees. He's from there. Go ahead.
Josephus, the Jewish historian who lived 2 centuries later, described Cyrenaica as the center of a large Jewish population. A further increase in Jewish numbers came as a result of the defeat of the Jews by Rome in 70 CE.
70 AD, the siege of Jerusalem. Go ahead.
So large was the Jewish population of Cyrenaica in the next generation that in the ill-fated uprising of 115 and 117, The Jews almost overcame their pagan neighbors and the Roman armies.
There's a lot of us. Go ahead.
Rome's fearful vengeance caused many to flee further west into the territory then known as Mauritania.
Mauritania is what you refer to as Angola, Northwest Africa. We fled further west, away from the Romans. We fought against the Romans. We lost against the Romans again, and we fled further. First, we fled into the East Africa, Libya, Cyrenaica, then North Africa. Then we moved even further away because the Romans started chasing us in there more. Then we ran further west, ended up in Northwest Africa, Mauritania or Morocco today, Angola today. Go ahead.
And now it's Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco. Other Jews from the former population.
And known as now as Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco. Or Algiers. In old books, they call it Algiers. We fled there. Go ahead.
Other Jews from the former population of Cyrenaica fled completely beyond the reach of Rome.
Because Rome ran into Africa to get us. So we had to leave out because Cyrenaica is Libya. So we fled out of, we fled, because the next door neighbor to us was Egypt. And next door to Egypt was Libya and Ethiopia. So we had to run further west because Rome ran in there. So we ran out of there and ran further west. Go ahead.
Beyond the reach of Rome into the desert to the south.
Into the desert. We ran to Muhammad and them. Ran to the desert to the south. Go ahead.
Such is the explanation. How the Sahara Desert first acquired Jewish tribes, toughened by a fighting tradition, and possessed of physical characteristics, which it is said still make them approximate very closely the original Jewish population of Palestine.
We maintained our physical features. Look exactly the same. Black. And now today, those same Jews that fled into Arabia or Mauritania today, they're referred to as, look it up real fast, Haratins.
Mm-hmm.
Haratin. Haratins. And they call them Moors over there, black Moors. And those Arabs over there today have us as slaves in the worst conditions possible to this very day. Type in Haratin real quick. I mean, Haratin means black in itself. It means black or slave. Haratin.
Black slave.
Black slave, yes. Yep, click that. Sister right there is a Haratin. That's clearly a sister. You can't deny that at all. She damn sure in Caucasian.
Right.
That's a sister. That's a Jew or a descendant of the Jews that fled into that area. Where does it say she's at? The Maghreb. The Maghreb makes up Morocco and Algeria. That's the Maghreb. Click Maghreb real quick. Click it. Fact check myself. What do you see on the map there? What I just said. Read what it says.
The Maghreb, the West, also known as the Arab Maghreb and Northwest Africa.
The Arab Maghreb. What is it?
Northwest Africa.
Read.
Is the western part of the Arab world. The region comprises western and central North Africa, including Algeria, Libya, Mauritania, Morocco, and
Tunisia. That checked myself. So now you know. We fled there. Haratins live in that area now. Let's go out. Read where you at.
So the Maghreb must be Arab for Mauritania.
Yeah, pretty much. Or that area is Arabic for that region. So now, let's get so we fled after 70 AD. We fled to Northwest Africa, etc. Y'all go ahead. Y'all can jump in. Have at it. There you go.
Thanks, Deke.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, give me those pages. I posted up. I gotta put it in order. I didn't really put it in order about Lam Lam.
Yeah, we touched on Lam Lam several weeks ago.
Right.
We got to jump back because and we mentioned how the Arabs pretty much depopulated the area of Lam Lam. It was once a Jewish colony, but no longer because the Arabs overran us out of the land.
Right. Keep going. I'll tell you when to stop. Keep going. Right there. Let me get those 2 pages. Just to get a brief of Lam Lam.
Oh, Idrisi. Okay.
So this is Idrisi geography. Go down. I just want Lam Lam. I'll read it. The land of Lam Lam. Okay, you got the boundaries. I'm going to jump down. I just want to get to the point. Inhabitants. According to the accounts of the people of the neighboring countries, the natives of Lam Lam are Jews. The greater part of them are plunged in ignorance and unbelief because we wasn't keeping God's laws.
Yep, start going off.
The Negroes who live on the banks of the river, which rises from the mountains to the south of Meli, go naked, carrying on no trade. So they letting you know those Negroes that's in Lamla, they're the Jews.
Yep.
All right. The mountain says the mountains. Can you read it for me? Can you see it?
The Negroes who live on the banks of the river, which rises from the mountains to the south of Malil, go naked, carry on no trade, have no regard for marriage, nor any sense of what is right.
Oh, you straight niggas. Jeez.
They are the most prolific of men. They are possessed of camels and goats. Their food consists of the milk of their goats and camels, the fish that they catch, and dried camel's flesh.
Start doing what the Arabs do. Damn, eating camel's flesh like Muhammad was doing.
Right. You could get out of that.
Wow.
Oh, go down. Let me see if any more for Lam Lam.
Got that from the Arabs. That camel stuff.
All right, now go to the next page. I'm trying to put it in some type of order here. Now, go to the page 99. Page 99. Blow that up. Go down among the commodities. Matter of fact, start up. Stop at the top here where it says Timbuktu.
Timbuktu, according to the information collected by Mr. Jackson, is situate on a plain surrounded by sandy eminences. The houses are spacious and built in the quadrangular form. They have no upper apartments, nor even any windows, being lighted by throwing open the doors, which are wide and lofty. The inhabitants are said to possess an elegance and suavity of manners not known in the north of Africa. And their attachment to the country is such that they never fail to return to it as soon as circumstances permit.
Read on.
The police is excellent. It is managed by a division of 12 Alima, who are elected.
We had our own police. We had our own police force. Go ahead.
Who are elected every 3 years and then fall into the mass of the people. Toleration is said to be exercised towards every class except the Jews.
They hated our guts, man. If we was keeping God's laws, they hated our guts. Go ahead.
Who are either excluded from the city,
couldn't even live in the city,
or obliged, while in it, to adopt the outward profession of Mohammedanism.
See that? So either in order to get in the city, you had to assume that you was following Muhammad.
So we dressed like Muslims, but we didn't follow the customs of it.
That's in Nahum Schlott's book.
Yeah.
That we took on that disguise for Islam.
We were reading that in the Greats book, how we were following Muhammad, but we were still keeping our laws.
Right. Yeah.
And then Muhammad turned on us and said we had strange customs that the Muslims couldn't keep.
We were crypto Muslims, pretty much.
Yeah.
Crypto Muslims.
All right, this is the part I really go ahead, read on.
Among the commodities brought to Timbuktu, Mr. Jackson mentions gold rings of Wagara.
Wagara is next to Ghana, and they all in the same area. Lam, Ghana, Wagara, Timbuktu, all in the same area. We ruled all of that. Go ahead.
The first modern notice that has occurred to us of a trade so celebrated in the time of the Arabians. Mr. Jackson mentions the countries of Lam and Meli.
Lam and Meli, go ahead.
That's Mali, right? Meli is Mali.
Mali, yes, sir.
Not in the erroneous position of Leo.
Because they all, read on, watch, you see.
But as fixed by the Arabs.
Right, so, you got Leo, Afrikaners came over, they all made maps to put where
you're trying to argue the preciseness of whether or not this area, whatever, the region.
Right.
And adds that they are reported to be inhabited by one of the lost tribes of Israel.
So they let you know who was in Lam and Meli. In Timbuktu, in Wagara, Ghana, that was us there. Negroes, Israelites. Go ahead.
This report, which certainly savors of the marvelous, derives, however, some sort of countenance from the statements of Kutcher and Idrisi, purporting that a colony of Jews, which first settled on the shores of the Niger, afterwards removed to this country, flying probably before the arms of the Saracens.
That's Ishmael.
Muslims.
Why? Because they was killing us and taking us as slaves. All right, so I have now go to the next page to show that. Let me see which. Hey, you got the map? Go back to that map so you can see Lam, where it was situated. Y'all could jump. Whoever else got it.
Where's the map?
If you got it, you good.
Bring up the map.
Yeah, that's it.
Not that map. The red with the red.
Oh, the red. Oh yeah.
Alan
yeah.
Gabi.
I got the Gabi map. The red font.
Yeah, we had previous explorations around the coastline of Africa. Too,
Oh, yeah.
As the Phoenicians.
Yeah,
so we
yeah,
already
yeah.
had settlements.
Yeah, we went over that.
Hamilcar and
years
all that.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hanno and Hamilcar.
Yeah. Yep.
One sailed north, one sailed south.
Yep. So we already knew. That's why we ran towards those regions. We
Yep.
already were aware of our people.
And
that
Solomon
were there.
too.
Yep.
Solomon's fleet.
Yep.
They had knowledge of it.
That's why in Acts 2 it told you that the Jews came from Arabia as well.
Yeah, and Cyrenaica also says Cyrene about Libya about Cyrene. It says in Acts 2.
Blow up. Go to Lam Lam.
Blow it up. Blow it up. Blow it up.
Blow it up. I know it gets pixelated. Let's put a cursor around it. See, it says Lam Lam once a Jewish colony.
Once.
And you see, it says the Jewish kingdom of Granada. That was Ghana. We ruled that whole area right there. The Ghanaian Empire.
Mm-hmm.
All right, not the Republic of Ghana, which today we know as today, but the actual Ghanaian Empire.
Kingdom, Jewish kingdom of Granada.
Right.
Now it's Maghreb now. Now it's an Arab area. Now it's Arab Africa now. They conquered us out of there and sold us out of their slaves.
Sold us out
you
of
see
their slaves.
Dagatons there to the right, Timbuktu to the right, Dagatons. And you see the word Dagatons or Dagatons, Dagaton or tons in plural, that's Jews, scattered Jews. The word, that's a fancy trick word that niggas don't read. If you don't read a book, you're not going to know what that is. Dagatons are Israelites scattered, exiled Jews. So if you come across the word Dagaton, or how it's spelled, that's a Jew scattered. Okay?
Damn.
Exiled Jew. Anywhere you read Dagatons, it's all over the map. Dagaton, that's all Israelites, all over the place.
And it makes sense because remember they said we couldn't come into Timbuktu if you was a Jew.
Right.
So we was nomads,
Yep.
wanderers.
Yep.
All right. Go out of that map now and go to the next page. How they was selling us out of there, out of Lam Lam. I'll tell you what page. It was a little out of order. Let me see. Go to the next. Yeah, start here. Let me see. Go back. Start at the bottom. The Arabs. Start at the bottom right there.
The Arabs of this coast
Matter
have.
of fact, no. Now, I posted another page to show you how the Arabs got there too. The settlement of the Arabs. It was called a settlement. Start with there. That's it. Go to the first page. Right there. You can start from the triumph.
The triumph of the followers of Muhammad, who in 50 years spread their arms and their creed over half the Eastern world, produced an immense change in the social system of Asia, and is still greater in that of Africa.
Go ahead.
Their ascendancy at first was by no means inauspicious, and portended little of that deep darkness and barbarism in which it has since involved these two continents. After the first violences to which fanaticism prompted the more ardent converts.
They forced this religion.
conversion.
Go ahead.
The Saracens' sway assumed a milder aspect.
Started off calm at first, then it became violent later on, is what he's saying.
And their princes cultivated the arts and even the sciences with a zeal which had expired among the effeminate descendants of the Greeks and Romans. Even the remote Mauritania, which seemed doomed to be forever the inheritance of a barbarous and nomadic race, was converted into a civilized empire. And its capital, Fez,
Morocco, go ahead,
became a distinguished school of learning. Their love of improvement reached even the most distant regions. They introduced the camel, which, though a native of the sandy waste of Arabia, was equally adapted to the still more immense deserts that stretched so widely over Africa. Paths were opened through wilds to penetrate which had hitherto defied all human efforts. And intercourse by means of caravans was formed with the interior countries
So the interior countries are those countries that we were at. Going into the Lam Lam, Timbuktu, Ghana. Go ahead.
To obtain gold and slaves, and amid the sanguinary disputes which afterwards arose among
What page was that? Right, 49 right there.
49, yeah,
My bad, I put it out there. Go ahead.
Among the descendants of the prophet, many whose ill fortune exposed them to the enmity of successful rivals
Arabs
sought refuge on the opposite side of the great desert. By successive migrations, they not only became numerous.
Hey, can remember what Deacon brought out in the history of the Jews, Solomon Grazel? Remember, we ran to the desert from the Romans for Rome, and we was in the desert. So now they come in, the Arabs come in there, because we concentrated in Central Africa. The Arabs come in, now they force us down, because they forcing their religion on us. Go ahead.
By successive migrations, they not only became numerous in Central Africa, but from superior skill in the art of war, rose to be the ruling power. They founded several flourishing kingdoms in those parts of the continent, which Europeans vainly sought to reach till they were recently explored by our enterprising countrymen. Of these states, Ghana was the most prosperous.
Go down, get to the point where they...
Grenada.
Yeah, Grenada. Go down. Go down. All right, start at Takor, this paragraph right here.
Takor, about 24 days' journey northwest of Ghana, was a kingdom inferior indeed to the other, yet powerful and independent. It carried on an extensive traffic with the people of the remotest west, who brought shells and brass, for which in return they are said to have received gold and ornaments. Mention is made of the cotton cloths, which still form the staple manufacture. Takor appears evidently to be Sakatu.
Come on. That's page 49, page 50. I should have that. No? All right, go back to 49. I'm missing something where he took us. All right, go on. Go to the next page. All right, keep going. I got another page. Yeah, right here. Read this. See, I'm mixing it up. The Arabs of this coast.
The Arabs of this coast have many Barbary.
So this is a totally different book now. Go ahead.
The Arabs of this coast have many Barbary horses.
So Barbary is still North Africa. It's called Barbary.
Yeah.
Which they carry to the country of the Negroes.
That's down in that same area. Timbuktu and all that. Go ahead.
Which they barter with the great men for slaves, receiving from 10 to 18 men for each horse, according to their goodness. They also carry thither silken stuffs of Granada and Tunis, with silver and many other things, in return for which they receive great numbers of slaves and some gold. These slaves are brought first to Holden in the desert.
So they took it from Lam, Timbuktu, and those areas, and they brought us to Holden in the desert. Go ahead. In the Sahara Desert.
And thence by the mountains of Barca into Barbary.
To North Africa.
Whence they are transported across the Mediterranean into Sicily.
So they brought us to Sicily, Italy, Europe, all over Europe. Go ahead.
Part of them are sold in Tunis and in other places along the coast of Barbary. And the rest are brought to Arguin, where they are sold to the licensed Portuguese.
Then they even took us back to Portugal. So this is going into the Mediterranean slave trade. All right, so the Arabs had a hand in taking us to Europe, to Italy.
Wow.
All over Sicily, Portugal. Okay,
Spain.
So Spain, we was all over. All right, so they the ones that started the Mediterranean slave trade as well, taking us to North Africa. Read on, you can read on.
Portuguese traders who purchase between 700 and 800 every year
slaves. Go ahead.
And send them for sale into Portugal. Before the establishment of this trade at Arguin, the Portuguese used to send.
Arguin is next to the Senegambia. It's next to Senegal. That was a port there. So they took us. They had the ships on over there, and then they took us.
Senegambia.
Right, Senegambia.
Wow.
That's Arguin. Arguin. Go ahead.
The Portuguese used to send every year 4 or more caravels to the Bay of Arguin, the crews of which, landing well armed in the night, were in use to surprise some of the fishing villages and carry off the inhabitants into slavery. They even penetrated sometimes a considerable way into the interior and carried off the Arabs of both sexes, whom they sold as slaves in Portugal.
Right, so that's all I want on that page.
Fire.
You got more?
Nah, that's it.
Oh, I got something for y'all. Since you dropped that, the Bay. It says the Bay of Ardren, right? Give me that book, Voyages of Diego.
Oh, you talking about arguing?
Nah. It's similar. Voyages of Diogo. No, not that one. No, Voyages of Diogo. I think I still have it over there. I don't even have it over here. I don't see it over here. It's a little thin book. It's really narrow.
They have it up there.
I need it over here.
It's right here. Oh, you
No,
want
they have it over there. I need it over here.
Yeah, they got it right there. They come.
Yeah. Type in Luango Bay,
Was it
please.
Portuguese?
Yeah, this is Portuguese, yes. Type in Luango Bay. Wikipedia, it don't matter.
1482.
This book is very old. They have one of the first globes is called the something apple. Is one the Portuguese put together the first globe. It's called the something apple. Earth apple. We call it the Earth apple. And I have a copy of the Earth apple. I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I'm excited. He brought this out. I got to tap a little bit. Give y'all some jewels. So I've been going away for a while, so I'm about to drop something with y'all. Right. Luango Slavery Harbor. Click that, please. Luango. Luango is like Angola, pretty much, I believe, right? Luango is Angola,
Yes,
I
sir.
believe it's the same area.
Yep.
Now read that real quick. Luango Slavery Harbor. Read that.
Luango Slavery Harbor is a Republic of the Congo cultural site included in World Heritage tentative list in 2008 and 2009. Luango Slavery Harbor is part of the Henda District in Kwalu Department. This site is limited by Point Indian to the southeast, Atlantic Ocean to the south and to the southwest. To the northwest, the village of Matambi, and to the northeast, the small town of Diaso.
That's all I want. So it's the capital of the kingdom of Luango. So Luango Slavery Harbor, right? Luango Slavery Harbor. Go down some. See if there's anything else in there. History. Read that history.
From 1500 to 1867.
Now this port here is the largest majority of slaves were brought to the Americas. At least like 6 million. The largest bulk of slaves were brought from this harbor here. I'm gonna say it again for y'all. I believe I have a slave atlas. The largest bulk of exporting of slaves came from this port right here. Okay? From the Portuguese. Read that right there.
From 1500.
1500. Not 1619. 1500. Go ahead.
To 1867.
Go ahead. That's 367 years. Go ahead.
The vessels in the Atlantic slave trade moved nearly 12.5 million African slaves.
12.5 million bodies. Go ahead.
From the coast of Africa to the Americas and the Caribbean.
Go down. I have read this before. Here we go, Luango. Here we go. The number's right here. All praises. I didn't know that was even here. I have a book that has this, but I know this was here. Read that.
God. Luango Coast and Angola Coast, 5,694,574.
The largest.
Dang.
45% of us were brought from that slave coast. Now, go back up to it again.
Damn,
I can refresh your minds. Luango Slavery Harbor. Right now, this book, I'll give it to you. It's called The Voyages of Diogo Cao by H.E.G. Ravenstein. What that Stein mean? What that name mean? Let's give me page. Page 11. These are the Portuguese here. I'm just going to jump to the point because there's so much in here. Go to it may be. It may.
It may be presumed that Kyle in the
Wait. Before you go there, let me say something real fast. I don't want to jump. I think it's backwards. Hold on. Let me get it first before I spoil it. Go to page 27 first. Then 11. Blow it up. Oh, yes. I'm excited to show this. Yeah. I want you to, now this is on, now you go to the old Earth Apple globe, the Portuguese. This is all Portuguese. I tried to use Google Translate, so I can't find it. Then I realized, okay, it's cut off. So go up to the top a little bit where I marked it right there. Praia de Judeo. That means bay. Bay of Judeo. Bay de, or Praia de Judeo. That means the bay of who? Of the Jews. Bay of the Jews. Okay, now jump down to right here. You got Golfo de. Golfo and Praia is the same. Bay or Gulf. Read that.
Golfo de Jude. Jews Bay.
What's it called?
Jews Bay.
Jews Bay. Jews Bay. Where is this located? Read on.
Castillo, guided by Pimento, identifies it with
Calango Bay. Calango Bay. Where is Calango Bay? Keep reading.
And this I accept, although the
Gulf Jedu.
Gulf of Bayham, a globe.
Bayheim's globe.
Bayheim's
globe is the ancient globe I talked about earlier that lists these ports and areas in Africa. Read.
Seems to represent Laongo Bay.
Seems to represent what?
Laongo Bay.
I want you to Google Loango Bay.
Damn.
Let's type in Loango Bay. See what it gives you.
Don't do it to him, Deke.
What does it give you? Oh, we just read it. Loango Slavery Harbor.
Damn.
Jews Bay. Loango Slavery Harbor is Jews Bay. Go back to the book, please. Go ahead, read on.
It says, whilst his Golfo de December the 6th occupies the place of Calango.
Yeah, he argues about how the name changed over time. Read on.
The Jew later on was converted into an Indian.
So it was converted into Indian, meaning rather than call it Jews Bay, they called it Indios. Bay of Indios. Now, Indios goes back to savage or servant. So it's still the same people. Go ahead.
And hence already on Reynolds' chart 1520, the bay between the Cabo
second Cajo. I'm not sure what Cajo means, but segundo is second. Go ahead.
And the Dras Matas.
I learned that from One Piece. Segundo. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what that means. Go ahead.
At the Kuala is called Golfo de Indios.
Golfo, so it went from Golfo de Judeo to Golfo de Indio, or slave, servant. Same thing. Go ahead.
The Rapa dos Tempos 1521, however, has an
Angra de Judea.
Angra
is still the same as Gulf. Angra or Praia or Golfo is the same word as bay. It means bay in Portuguese. Same word. Angra is bay. Go ahead.
Angra de Judea.
Angra de Judea. Go ahead.
Judea. 2 degrees to the north of the Congo.
Jump down later authorities. This is a bunch of BS.
Later authorities distinguish between a Golfo de Judu and a Golfo de Indio, identifying the latter with
Laongo Bay. Go ahead.
This, I believe, to be a duplication due to corrupt spelling.
Now go to page 11 and see why it's called that. Why is it called that? They're going to try to play Jedi mind trick with you, but you got to read through between the lines. Read that right there. It may be presumed.
It may be presumed that Cal, in the course of this second voyage,
Cal was a Portuguese explorer that bought slaves. Go ahead.
Gained a fuller knowledge of the coast first discovered by him to the north of the Congo.
Go ahead.
He may thus have visited and named the bay called Golfo de Judu.
Cal named the place Golfo de Judeo. Go ahead.
The
Jews Bay.
The Jews Bay.
Watch.
Of old maps. Either
and I have the map. Old maps. Go ahead.
Either because there was a Jew on board his vessel.
Bullshit. Excuse my language.
Or
yes, that's not why. He's not going to name an entire area Jews Bay because a Jews on a ship. That's nonsense. Go ahead.
Or what is less likely.
Well, now you're going to say less likely, and it's more likely. Go ahead.
Because he was struck with the Jewish
physiognomy
of some of the natives who are absurdly supposed to keep the Jewish Sabbath when in reality they have fetishes. And
they have fetishes mean they have customs. Go ahead.
Casa de Tinta like their neighbors.
Jump down. There was.
Wait.
No, that's all I want. So they're trying to say, well, the reason maybe he named the Jews Bay because he had a Jew on the ship. It's not because he came across natives that were living on the land that were keeping the Sabbath. There's no reason why it's called the Jews Bay.
Right.
Stop. That's why it's called Jews Bay. And they were selling slaves from, that's why it's called Jews Bay. They were selling slaves that were Jews from the Bay. That's why it's called Slavery Harbor. Because those Jews are Jews Harbor, Slavery Harbor, or Indios, which goes back to servants or slaves. Eastern servants or Western servants. West Indians, East Indians. Because the Portuguese conquered both. Okay? So, again, that port goes back to being referred to as the Jews Bay or Praia de Judeo or Golfo de Judeo, which means Gulf of the Jews or Bay of the Jews or Harbor of the Jews or Port of the Jews. You can't mess with us. When it comes to the history of our people, you cannot mess with us. Just learn and shut up. Don't say nothing. Just don't call it challenge, call it questions. You don't debate people who lack the historical tenacity. You just learn, be quiet, and get out of that Islam garbage. Get out of it immediately.
Hey,
what we got?
Hey, pull this up real quick. I know we run out of time.
Yo, I hate Islam. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't like Muhammad at all. He upsets me. His existence bothers me.
Hey, so going into what Deacon is bringing out about that area, Luongo, the Jews Bay, this is a map from 1588.
AD.
Go up.
Go back to the top. You gotta read the top.
The Jewish state of the Judaism Terra in Africa, meaning land of the Jews. That's in Portugal. Go up. So it says, the first part of this exhibit is a map from 1588 showing the Judaism Terra, or land of the Jews located in Africa. The second part of this exhibit is the published text that explains the map. Go to the map. This is the map right here. All right.
High quality. Can you blow it up?
Are you able to blow it up?
You should be able to. It looks high quality to me. I get a high definition of it. It looks good.
But look, it's in. Put it in the middle right here. You see?
What's the name of the map?
Is this 1588? Put in Judaism Terra. It's right here in the middle. Go to the middle. Put your cursor on. I'll show you where it's at. Go over.
We need a higher resolution one. We can get it. No, they have it around somewhere. Looking for it now, aren't you, Joaquin? Looking for it? Yeah.
Go back out. We can read the text until you find it. Go back out.
We can just find a higher resolution version of it, and then we'll put it back on the screen again.
All right. It says, but whatever Bassanage may have thought or have written at the end of the 17th century, the position was definitely regarded a century earlier. Sanuto, his name is Sanuto, who made this map, the famous geographer of that period, whose African Atlas in Geography was published in 1588, shows a Jewish state distinctly marked as Judaism Terra in Tabula X of his African maps.
Ancient maps. That's the book said. Ancient maps.
The country extending some distance south of the equator and surrounded by mountains, a very considerable territory. John Pori, the English translator of the History and Description of Africa by Leo Africanus, writing at the commencement of the 17th century, contribute a chapter on the region of the religions of Africa, in which he remarks, at this day also, Abyssinians affirm that upon a Nilus towards the west, there inhabited a most populous nation of Jewish stock under a mighty king. Wow. And some of our modern cosmographers set down a province in those quarters, which they call the land of the Hebrews. All right. It says placed, as it were, under the whatever, in certain unknown mountains between the confines of Abyssinia and Congo, which Deacon was just bringing out.
Yep.
Did you find it? Yeah, I have the map. I just wanted to, but it was getting too late. But go back up to the map. Go.
You can't find a high resolution on there?
I'm trying to make sure it's the right one.
Just put it up, man. See, we got some
we
time.
got
Just
time.
throw it up if you can. You got like 10 minutes?
Just go back to how you had it before.
5, right? We out of time, really, but.
Go down to the Congo. Go down. I hope y'all know some geography here. All right, stop. Go up a little bit. Go up a little bit. Right in the center here. Go to the center. You see it? Say Judeo Terra. Right there. That's it.
Yeah.
Right, the Congo, that whole area, we was there. So they knew who was there. Map 1588.
Right there, yep.
There you go. All right. So that's it, D.
Terra, yeah. That's Jews, yeah.
Land of the Jews.
Land of the Jews. Terra is earth or land of the Jews. Earth or land. Yeah, man. So we're going to just drop it right there. Lord's, next week, we'll start off with the more high-resolution map. We look forward, we'll find it. If you find it, send it to us. That'd be good. But we're going to look forward in the meantime. But hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know I've been away for a while. To drop some jewels for y'all. More praise to the Most High. Hopefully, y'all got some edification. And with that, we're going to say shalom. I'm going to pass it on to Father Zabadon. Yeah, man.
All praise. Let's give a deacon a hand for that class. All praise the Most High. Quiet. Hey, let's get to these announcements. Anytime now. All right, Israel. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Our Hidden History Radio, to get the videos and the interviews we are starting. I know a lot of us might have seen the interviews we dropped on our Hidden History page. We got a lot more coming, so go ahead and like and subscribe. You also have all of the past videos that Deacon, Officer Jez, Captain Joel has done. Make sure you catch up on those. You do not want to sorry. My bad.
Snap.
Not
you don't
want to
mess up like Abaddon.
Miss out. Yeah, all praises. Right. Yeah. Subscribe, hit the notification button so you know when we go live, all right? Also, subscribe to our Philly pages, IUIC Philadelphia and IUIC Philadelphia in the classroom.
Bro, you all right, bro?
Yo, it's that food from the beginning.
What's the food?
Man.
Yeah, all praises. Anyway.
Why we good and you not?
That sauce did something different to me, Officer Jez. No, all praises, though. Hey, so make sure you donate to Our Hidden History on PayPal. You can donate on PayPal to IOIC.Philadelphia at IsraelUnite.org. In the comment section, put OHH. You can also donate to the Booster Club. You can donate to the Booster Club on PayPal to IOIC.fundraising at IsraelUnite.org. Last but not least, subscribe to...
Niece?
Just let him go. Just let him go. We get him after. Just let him go. Just let him go.
Words. Mercy, man.
Tough crowd,
Last
man.
but not least, subscribe to IUIC TV to get exclusive content from the leadership of IUIC. And tune in next to Raven and Wolves with Deacon Malafia.
Chester Education.
Next. All right, for missing persons, we are looking for Kimani Banks. All right, Kimani is 14 years old, female, African-American, eye color brown, about 5'3", 100 pounds. Kimani was last seen on August 13th wearing a black scarf, black shirt, black tights, and dark-colored sneakers. All right, if you do see the sisters, make sure you make the local authorities aware. All right. All right. We're seeking your assistance to enhance our national broadcast. Kindly spare a minute to provide feedback by answering 5 brief questions. So go ahead, pull your phones out, and scan that QR code. All right.
Be honest about Officer Abaddon.
Right.
We gotta
turn this on the reader now.
I'm not part of this feedback, so it's all right.
I'm trying to.
I messed up
fix
on
this
some
pencil. I just continue.
Thank
if
you,
I
D.
focus on the pencil, I'll laugh.
Leave it up for a couple more seconds.
Thank you. And that is
his
all.
name is spelled Abida.
Damn.
That is all, Deacon.
Yes, sir. All praise the Lord. Let's give a round of applause. I'm trying really hard.
It's been 2 weeks, D.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while. I did the same thing a little bit today, so I'm not gonna blame you.
Yeah, me too.
Are we gonna put the land fund up?
The land fund. You put it up.
Do we got the ad? Got the land fund ad? All praises.
Oh man, they're about to miss out on that, man. Got more to read, officer.
Hey, we all fall sometimes, but righteous men get us back up.
You messed up.
I don't know when
he messed up.
It don't say when he get up, but he get up.
So you got some time?
Yeah, I got time. Oh, it's new. All right, you heard it from the bishop. Last Passover, we put out the vision to purchase our own land. All right? So, if you have faith, show it forth with your works. You can send your donations to Israel at IsraelUnite.org on PayPal. In the comment section, put land. All right? Send in your donations, okay? That's it.
Everything gonna be all right, Abaddon. Everything gonna be all right.
Right. How do people supposed to see the vision the way you just said it?
Can we end?
All right, y'all. So Lord's will, we're gonna hit y'all with some more heavy stuff. Lord's will next week. So stay tuned. Shalom. Most High Christ bless. Thanks for watching.
Shalom. Most High Christ bless.